Hello and welcome. This is Julie SylverStitches here on FlossTube and on Instagram. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting me. If this is your first time, congratulations, you found me. I am so happy for you to be here. Thank you if you are returning, of course, and thank you for if you're just stumbling to see what my channel is all about. I am a cross-stitcher that has been mainly focusing on full coverage, but there are non-full coverage charts sprinkled in here and there. I live in Ontario, Canada, where it is cold. Anyway, sunny, but cold. So I'd like to share with you my stitching for what I did in January. This is my maybe 4th or 5th time filming today. It is now 11:30, and let's see if this one sticks. I'm going to try and film in segments, I think, because I filmed, I think it was 47 minutes, and it was all great, and then I was thinking, I have far too many plans to be able to, they were all discombobulated. Anyways, today is February 1st, 2026. It is one of my best friend's birthdays, so I have special dedicated stitching if I get to that. It's going to be watching the world go... No, it's going to be Dragon in the Morning. So, if I get there, that's great. If I don't get there, c'est la vie. Anyways, here we go. So, let's start from top to bottom. Because I tried in my last segment to stitch by category or theme or whatever you want to call it, and that didn't work. So my brain was not computing, and it was too much. I mean, anyways, okay, so we're going to start out with QS Forever Friends. This is by Oleg Gavrilov of Heaven and Earth Designs. I started on the right side of this project, and I'm stitching it page by page, apparently. So I've made myself go all the way over to the end of the first page on the right. So this is where I'm at. If I have another picture from last week, I will put it in here. I am using a red piece of paper for the background, so that's what you see. I don't know why. Anyway, so here we are. I was able to put in something like 271 stitches if I was able to get this all going right. Yes, 271 stitches. So we are currently at... No, I don't like that. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. At least for now. Okay, so 271 stitches. So I am now at 1,200%. No, 1,200 stitches completed. And light is funny today. And so I almost have that whole top row finished. I am missing a few colors. Not missing, I just haven't found them in my stash yet because I haven't looked for them. So there's a few there up there in that top row that are not stitched in yet, but we'll get there. So, yes, 1,200 stitches completed at 1.89%. Hooray! This is very exciting. I would talk stats for January, but I think that's what was mixing me up. If you want to see all my stats, they're on Instagram. I will post a picture here. You can read it, but I'm not going to talk about it because that just, I don't know. I don't know why, but if I have that routine of what I normally talk about, and if I add something new, apparently it throws me off and I can't do it. Anyways. Okay, so next up. So that was just random. I just felt like stitching. I just wanted to stitch it. Stitching. Fun story. I was stitching this. So that was last night, and I watch FlossTube, right, when I stitch, and I was watching all of these great FlossTubers And then the Max Color Stitcher pops up with, latest video posted. And I was like, oh, I guess it's time for bed because it's already Sunday. And she has already filmed her FlossTube for Sunday. She lives in Australia. And so I'm like, that is my bedtime. Gotta go to bedtime. Gotta go to bed. Gotta go to bed because it's my cutoff for Saturday night, kind of. So whatever time it is, whatever time she decides to film her video is my bedtime for Saturday night because I know that it's late. That's all I know. And I looked at the clock on the tablet and I was like, oh, it's 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Anyways, 271 stitches that was. Anyways, okay, so we're moving on to Never Quit by Stitchery Stitch. This is for Milestone Manor. I did complete the stitching for my entryway and my hallway. Hooray! But you will see those in here. So this is part of Milestone Manor. This is what it's going to look like. I am doing this on a blue Aida, a light blue Aida. 14 count, I'm pretty sure. 750 stitches were put into this week. And I did get a milestone because my milestones for Milestone Manor are every 1,000 stitches. So if I roll over on the 1,000 stitch mark, then I give myself a milestone. So I did that for this piece. So we are now at 2,450. So essentially I put in what happened, and no, and it says it says longer. This is going to say longer. But I'm not quite done the R yet. As you can see, I have a few more stitches. Anyways, I'm not doing color completing for milestones. I'm not doing page completions for milestones. I'm just doing every 1,000 stitches because all of my projects on Milestone Manor are things that I want to see super progressed or things that I want to see finished in 2026. Those are the stipulations. That is what I decided worked best for me. The entry piece is my lowest stitch count, and as you move to the back of my layout, it gets to the highest stitch count. But it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna figure out where I am by picking up these purple, now we're getting to plans, good grief, picking up these purple pieces of paper. I, however, already know where I'm going next because I've already filmed this once, so I don't want to change my plans because I already wrote them down. So I will pretend it's not going to be a big surprise. I will pretend where I'm going next and be like, oh, I'm going to that, but I already know, and I already know my stitch count. So I wrote down all of the places in my little house on these cards. I just flipped them over in my hand. I picked one, and I will show that to you at the end. Anyways, on with the show. All right, so that was Never Quit. I put, 750 stitches into it. It is now at 39.94%. 39.94. Honestly. Anyways, okay, so next up is, scroll down, is The Wise and the Brave by L&L Designs. This is the 2026 Stitch Along with Heaven and Earth design. I was able to, just on a whim, just because I felt like it, I needed to frog out. I needed to rip out a portion, not the whole section, but the portion, like maybe a few rows of something to be able to get on track again. And I did that. And so when I first did this morning at like 9:30 this morning, it's now 11:30, that just so everybody's aware, I was trying to figure out how the 1,400 stitches that I had written down previously made it to 1,535 with 108 stitches. I was very confused. And then I realized that I hadn't updated my Excel sheet from last week because I said, forget about it. I'm not stitching it. I think I'm going to UFO it. So I just left all of the stats the way they were. And then when I came back this week, I was like, no, I'm going to fix it and I'm going to work on it. And so I ended up putting I ripped out some, but then I ended up putting 108 stitches in, so now it's at 1,300, nope, 1,500 and, what did I say, 35? If I can wise and brave. Yeah, 1,535. So that is a stitch down there. It's not just some random. Okay, anyway. So what I was talking about was this 370 in here, that yellowy green. I did not stitch properly the other week. So therefore this lighter brown, when I stitched that in, it was not the right colors. Like it was not the right where it needed to be. So that's when I was like, do I even care about it enough to stitch on it? And I do, so I did. And that's where we're at. So 1,535 this week, apparently. I'm not so concerned about rounding up to the closest 500 or 1,000. I don't know. Stitches are stitches. No matter what. Progress is progress. All right. So the next one is another Heaven and Earth design. It is by Lucy Pittaway of Heaven and Earth. It's a retired chart, Watching the World Go By. This one was an also Milestone Manor piece. This is my hallway piece. So every time I leave a room, I need to go back into my hallway. I know I'm jumping back and forth again, but I did put in I met the milestone for there. And then with this one, I did not meet any milestones, but that's okay. I put in 750 stitches. I finished off 9 colors. And I am now at 46,420. Did I say 420 stitches? So this is the whole thing. And I'll zoom into where I stitched last. So I was color completing from smallest to biggest. And I think I'm 17 stitches away from completing one more color, but here we go. So filled in all the way across here, filled in some more of the yellow. Did I ever mention that I am not a yellow stitcher? No way. I like the bright yellows, okay, but the teens, when they released their 1 to 35, those teen yellows, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you know, you know. Those are not my favorite things to stitch with. 12, 11, 10, 17, 16. No, thank you. That's all this, and it drives me bananas. Did I put a stitch in there? I mean, I was pretty tired when I stitched this last night, but at the same point, I did something else after this, so I must not have been that tired, but at the same point, yeah, all very light. And so then I started, the next color completing things. I started with the browns, and then I moved up to the yellows, and then I finished with the darker grays and greens and up there because, anyway, 750. Didn't pass a milestone because I didn't pass that 1,000 mark, but I did end up finishing, what did I just say, 9 colors, so that's great. So my Julie hit points, put herself a hit point because I didn't get any milestones for that one, although I'm only counting that like I said, the every 1,000, so it's not as if, yes, I am making progress and milestones, but anyways, it's fine. Okay, 2 more pieces plus 1 more piece. So 2 more pieces that I've written down plus 1 more piece that I had a new start. That's a paper pattern. So this is Mini Winter Cookie Party. This is Heaven and Earth again. This is by Amy Stewart. This is the mini, so it's not, I don't think it's as detailed as the regular sized one, but I'm okay with that. I'm never probably going to finish it in my lifetime anyway, but here we are. I added a whole whopping 43 stitches. I was originally going to have 3 wheels this week. One was 500 stitches, so any of my now Milestone Manor pieces. 100 stitch piece, which is all my new my new whips, my knot, my barely started, my, all of those that I want to see progress, but they're not ever going to end up to, being done anytime soon. Those ones. And then a strand a day. Didn't really happen. Anyway, so that was 43 stitches out of the 100 that I spun for, right? So I only did 43. And so now I'm at 543, which is 0.72%. But stitches are stitches. Doesn't matter. Those 43 stitches are in there now, so I don't have to do them anymore. Okay, so then the last one, the last thing I have on here at least, is this. This is a strand a day. This was my strand a day for, it lasted a whole 2 days. So I think I got, 150 stitches into White Mandala 3 by Magnolia Handcraft. I am using 4505 as the variegated DMC thread of choice. And here I am. So we go like this. This is like this. Here it is. So every round that I do, so I started with this round, and then I did this round, and then I've been working my way out. I don't have an end date for this, but it's pretty fun when it goes. I do have enough fabric because I have all this fabric, so that's not as if I don't have enough fabric. But part of this is fast, and then part of this is slow. Slow because I'm only at 1,798 stitches, and I've been working on it for a long time. But it's 2 strands, and sometimes the thread breaks, and sometimes it doesn't. And so we just have to keep going. 19.04%. Alright, so that was the first 2 days of thread-a-day stitching. Took a break from the thread-a-day stitching, and then ended up going to Wool Time, which is my LNS, on Thursday, and picked up a new mill hill, because we all know how much I end up finishing them. Anyways, this one was specifically wanting or alluring or whatever you want to call it. I was drawn to this one. It's a full coverage, and it is Snowman Lantern, sorry. So I ended up starting in the, I'm going to flip it over. I ended up starting in the top left corner with that tree. So I just wrote it down. Do you think I know where my paper went? Of course not, because I decided to, oh, it's in here. All the ripped pages, because 116. There's 116 over 3 days. And that's that. So for the last 3 days, this is what I've been working on. And it's been really fun. I think I'm going to draw the rest of the DMC, though, from my stash, because that's the number one thing I do not love about Mill Hill kits, is that they use great colors, but the colors kind of in my head all blend into one. Like, they're not, anyways, like, there's 2 greens that are almost identical, but they're completely different, right? So is that the light green, or is that the light green? Is that, so I'll have to go back to my main stash and be like, oh, that's that color. Okay. Because who knows? Anyways, that is it for the works in progress, new starts, all of that section of the video. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to pull out the next round of Milestone Manor pieces and go from there. Okay, so Milestone Manor, the Milestone Manor plans. So I've already filmed this once, and so I have already written down everything I need to write down. I already rolled all the dice, so it takes the fun out of the whole situation, but sorry. So what I pulled, I put these all in my hand, I pulled one, and I pulled Family Room because I was in my hallway because I had finished Watching the World Go By with 750 stitches. So I'm going to go up to my family room. I already wrote down a list of where everybody's going to be. Right? And so I looked into my family room. It is Forever Friends by Oleg Gavrilov, the one that I am stitching with Lorna from A Random Stitcher. And I already rolled my dice because, you know, I've already filmed this once. So what I did is I rolled a 6 plus a 9 times 50, which is 456. So once I can finish the 456 stitches on this, I'm going to finish off everything in that top 10 by 10, top, whatever that's called, the top, and then stitch down for whatever colors remain, which is what I've been doing for that one. And the light is all funny, and I'm here, and I'm dark, and I'm light, and I'm sorry. Okay. So that was 456. And then when I finish that, I've already planned out my next route. I'm going to the hallway because that's what happens. So that is going to be back into the hallway is Watching the World Go By. And why is it so dark now? I don't know. Anyway, so that's going to be another 490 stitches into this. So I'll get another few color completed. I should roll over to the 47,000 mark. No, I should not. Not yet. So no milestones, but maybe soon. And I don't think so anyway. Math is hard. Maybe I might. I don't know. So 490 on this, and 456 on this one, and then by that point I will get back to you with what I'm going to do next, because I have a whole lot of different things that I want to do for this month. I will talk also about Whip Go while I'm here before I film again. Did I put Whip Go in? I had it. I threw it all the way back there? Oh my goodness. Why did I do that? It's back there. Why? Really? That was silly. What's in here? Not that I need what's in here, but what's in here? Let's find out together. Oh. Right. Okay, cool. Okay, that's not what I was thinking it was, but that's cool. That's cool that it's in there. Antique sampler. Antique circle sampler. Anyways, I was making a comparison in the last video to this video of I have enough fabric for the whole white mandala, but I might not have enough fabric for the whole circle sampler, antique circle sampler. Because, I know this is a sidetrack, but that's fine. Because this, I think it's going to go this way. This is how much I have fabric-wise. I don't think I have enough to be big enough. So what I was going to plan on doing on that is going around and around and around until I have no more space, essentially, is the plan. But I am planning on a full coverage February, so that is not this. Except for Milestone Manor, because I do have a few pieces in there that are non-full coverage, and I want to keep playing that game. So, not changing it up, but hold on, we're going to pause. Okay, so story time a little bit about Whip Go. right? I decided that I wanted to try Whip Go this year, of course. And what had happened was, all games, is I got Tess from SylverStitches. I did not work on her piece this week because I know she's doing as best she can. That's all I know. And I've already spun my wheel for the next spin, but she has not, and that's okay because sometimes life just lifes, right? We're going to have to put up the hair because it's too hot, as you can probably tell. Okay, hold on, please. Okay, so, what are we talking about? Okay, so Whip Go. She originally, you know, a whole whopping 5 weeks ago, decided that I decided that I was going to take all of my current at the time games, and it was going to be a big surprise for everything. So I got her to do all the things, make the spread. No, I gave her the list of whips, and I gave her all of the whatevers for, like, all of the parameters for all of the games. But what had happened was I did not label anything for Whip Go. Like, I didn't give them the pre-assigned numbers. So she just put all the whips in, but didn't assign numbers either. And so right now, I don't have the assigned numbers, but I knew that I wanted to make them all jumbled. So January, which was a disaster, was 7 and 2, right? And so 7 and 2 on this was definitely not 7 and 2 on, you know, the actual diagram. So I don't know if this is making sense. So I'm going to need to go and figure out. So Tired Trio, back up a bit. I decided that I'm going to continue doing Whip Go. This time I'm only going to do 30 minutes a day for 1 week. And hello, hi skaters. 30 minutes a day for 1 week on each project. So catch up time 4 weeks, 4 projects. So Tired Trio and Peacock are still going to be week 1 and week 2. And then week 3 and week 4 are going to be Snowman by Maria Diaz. That's this little guy here. It's but from the Winter Sampler. Hi. What are you doing? And this is where we're at. And then, okay, that's where we're at. So he's kind of full coverage, even though he's a paper pattern. Yes, hello, Sneezy. What are you doing? You okay? No? Shake of the head? Alright, and the other kind of, not really, but it's a full coverage space that I'm working in at least, is, why are you coughing? Is Nora Corbett's Miss Goss Swallowtail. And if you hear that, that's Skitters, and I don't know why he's coughing. What's going on there? Anyway, and this is where I'm going to be at. So each one of these projects is going to get 30 minutes a day. And so I'm just going to, hopefully by that point, her whole wing will be filled in, and maybe, I'm not going to count stitches, I'm just going to keep stitching away. And then for my January calls that have already passed, but I didn't do anything about them because I just kind of gave up on Whip Go, was Peacock. So I'm going to restart this on a 28 count piece of Joblian that one of my great viewers shared with me. If you want to see that whole haul, I think, or rack, I should say, that was in the last video or 2 videos ago. So that's going to be a restart. And then the other number for Whip Go in January was this one, and this is Tired Trio. And I am at this is a 28 count piece of ivory Lugana, which I'm really not used to stitching on, but it's okay, I guess. And here we are. That's where this is still. I did not put any stitches into it in January like I was supposed to, but this is also going to be 30 minutes a day. It is done with a the DMC conversion. Mixed threads, not all called for, because I'm fun like that. Anyway, that is that for plans, real plans that are actually going to stick. I was debating on, like at the beginning of the video, I think I Spy by Stitching by the Shore with Laura, the Olympic Stitches, Stitching the Olympics, and the February Bingo Challenge in Full Coverage Fanatics. That is the plan. So if I get there, I get there, and if I don't, I don't. I'm not creating a separate video today. I'm just going to post this, and if I end up doing that, what's going to happen is I'm going to put all the prompts kind of like what I did for this, but in more of a stable situation. I'm going to get a little bag or like a zippy, like a makeup bag kind of thing where I can put everything in and just pull one thing out, and that's what it is. That's what it is. None of them are going to be the specified stitch, whatever. That's just going to be my focus project for the day. I know that there's only 28 days in February, and there's going to be like, oh, I don't know, like 500 options. That's how it feels, at least. So we'll see if I'm going to be able to finish or fulfill all of the things, right? Like, that's the whole thing about this random stitching is I want to work on everything. I want to stitch on everything. I want to play all the games, but I don't have time to play all the games. I don't have, there's not enough hours in the day. Anyways, I'm going to probably let you go there. So yes, so I have all the prompts written. I'm not going to show you any of the projects just in case that doesn't actually happen. So what's going to go on is, yes, I'm going to write down all the prompts. I'm going to tear them up on pieces of paper. I'm going to put them in a thing. If I get to, I'll pull one out and see what it is, and hooray, that's what it is. If I don't get to it, then I don't get to it, and you won't be missing anything. So for now, I'm going to focus on Milestone Manor and Whipgo, and I might pull out a thread a day again, spin that wheel, put this on, for February, because that's what we're in right now. I'm going to spin the thread a day wheel, because I really did enjoy doing that at the beginning of the day, just putting a length of thread into whatever project it is. There might be 7 different projects, or I might just stick with one project for the whole week, depending on how I feel about that project or how I feel about whatever's going on. That as well might not be a full coverage project, but we'll see, because most of those projects are paper. So mostly all of those projects are paper. That's not true either. Anyways, have a great day. I am going to leave you here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday or whenever day you're watching this. Sparkle and shine. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I will see everybody later. Bye, everybody.